Hi, thank you very much, Michelle. And okay, let's begin our webinar. Like every Thursday, welcome everybody, all the people that on a weekly basis is coming to our webinars. I want to thank you, all of you, first of all, and thank you also, Mr. Michelle, for your kind introduction. Today we're going to be presenting, the application that is called Flows. That is in as instance in order to help us make some workflows actually. This is very interesting. As usual, whenever I present something in Business Central, I'm aware that some of you also work with NAV. So think of the webinar as the same functionality that you can actually work in NAV 2018 in this case. Remember that NAV has many versions. So in this case, just for this webinar, the functionality we're about to see, it's available since 2 years ago only, and now we are gonna then show it, but take that in mind, so we can just justify whenever we want to explain an idea, the functionality we see, whether you can use it or not, right? So I'm just going to start now with the webinar. I'm having the client in my browser here. And today, I'm not going to be focusing specifically only on Business Central. As a general idea, what Flows does, or the Power Automation functionality, it's called, here it is. The Power Automation is going to help us to cover, remember this, functionality outside Business Central. And how it works? Well, we have many applications that are actually seamlessly integrated. You need to know this about Business Central. That will be quite a little bit different from NAV, where we would need to do some other work in order to connect applications. That's the point here we're about to see. Business Central is out of the box. We just do some tweaks and connect many applications. Which applications could be connected, automated, and how we use them? Well, let me explain you. We have, for instance, Outlook. Some of you might understand that you sometimes would like to have notifications from your ERP to your email, as an example. But also nowadays we have OneDrive. OneDrive is a drive in the cloud where we can save our files, like many providers in the market that help you to save your files in the cloud, okay? OneDrive is the Microsoft application we use. And here we can save any file that we can use or we use in our work on a daily basis. And of course, there's Excel, Word, and some other PowerPoint. Well, we don't have to say that. If you want to export a report, well, we can use these apps. OneNote as well. And here we have now other type of let's explain Teams. Teams, we are going to use it today. And Teams is a communication app to have chats, meetings, and sort of posts or walls like Facebook that are very useful in a company. So let's think of a meeting, a application, chat room, and a Facebook for your company. That's what a team is, okay? So what do we do then? For instance, let's say that we have very low inventory. We want the ERP to notify us for specific items. Well, that is possible now. He has been requested for years, as I remember, and is going to notify us in Outlook, for instance. What about if you want to control your AP process, your AR process? Thinking of examples. A customer is created, but somebody is going to give the customer a credit limit, but this means that a credit limit, you're allowing a customer to pay on a specific, when they pay an account, to not to have some, let's say, AR or accounts receivable procedures where they are not going to be immediately charged by fees, interest, or anything, right? That's why you're giving credit limits. But if somebody does something like that, you would like to be notified, or maybe you would like to notify an entire team, all right? And that's what Flows does. Let's make an example and let's see it directly. When I open, if I take a look in my Business Central application, what Office 365 is offering us is in one single environment, we can connect for your company all the applications that you need. We have plenty actually. If you want to go and ask me about specific functions that you might want, like barcoding or any app that you might be thinking that could be used or functionality, let me know. Don't worry, I'm going to explain everything about in a future webinar when we are a little more advanced with our knowledge. I'm going to explain more. But this is the beginning of how do we actually use Business Central in the cloud with other apps, which is very useful. So for NAB and Business Central is not only about the ERP. Think of that, and let's then review the Power Automation process. What I'm going to do now is from my window, open one application that is this one, Power Automate. And when I open that, what I'm going to check now is this a new tool that is going to allow me to do many things. For instance, here, just as an example, somebody is offering a functionality to save Office 365 email attachments to OneDrive. Very well. Used many times. This is already coded. You don't have to do anything. If you like it, you can just click and try it. And this is going to immediately connect to your Business Central, connect to your Outlook, connect everything to OneDrive. So this is going to check, maybe I was making a purchase and I need an attachment, and this is going to do everything for you. Just click on try it. A good push notification when you receive an email from your boss. So we have plenty of options. Let me just explain what other functions we can use and how they actually work. We are about to see the webinar for today is we're going to see how it works. Okay, but just giving you some introduction, some ideas. So the idea is to connect application with our Business Central process. Now, I'm going to just review and click on a new function, a new process. I'm going to click on create for you to see what would be available. Of course, there are plenty of things. According to you, we have dozens of applications. We cannot cover all of them in one webinar. I'm going to be focusing today on what will be for Business Central. Look at this, Business Central and on-premises. So we have options for both type of apps. And let's see what it offers. Look at this. We have a Business Central topic here in this new website that is called Power Automate. They are offering us some functions like let's do something when a record is changed. Let's say any type of record in any table, okay? I don't want to go specifically with this topic yet because this could be quite maybe for database or for more admin. I want to do something that will be functional, very functional, even for a user that hasn't yet seen a SQL table or anything like that, okay? But let's say, this is the maybe more popular, yes. This has been created by many people, 1,800. A request approval for a purchase order, very useful. And what I see here is that integrates with Outlook, Power Automate, and Business Central. We have other options, approval for a customer. So, okay, very good. If I need to review, make some actions for Outlook or a workflow when a purchase invoice is created, and so on. Well, you can see all of them. We have plenty of different functions based on basically purchases, sales, operations, financial journals, general journals, in other words. We have SharePoint as well, and purchase credits and sales credit memos. Okay, but the idea here is that all of these different topics that we see here are nothing but an already prepared application and tool, and already the code prepared for you, so the user can open Power Automate, select any of these processes. Let's take a look at the, I already created, by the way, some examples. So I would need to click on any of the topics that I would like. For instance, if I want a purchase order, okay, approval, let's click on this. And immediately what this is going to do for me is going to help me to start creating a workflow. And this is telling me when a purchase order is created in Microsoft, a Business Central, an approval request or an approval allows additional actions to be taken on a purchasing document. Very well. So if we click on continue, what we are going to do when we configure, before going to configuration, let me explain you the idea. Let me go maybe for one that I have already created, but you will see here the information important for the webinar. I'm going to review my flows that I have created. Okay. After I click on create, what it's going to do is going to create for my environment. It's going to bring the code and bring everything into my environment. Is out of the box. And what we're going to be seeing now is the following. I'm going to open now my own workflow that is called, look at this, the flows is request approval for Dynamics Business Central customer. And now the user might decide what he would like to do with this. And let's see the options. Let me just edit this, because whenever you open a new flow, what you're going to see is the following. Okay, when a customer approval is requested, we get a record, a new one. We are going to start an approval, and we can set up conditions to work with this. Okay, let's take a look. What would you be able to do? First of all, remember, and just to tell you, this could work for anything, any information, customers, vendors, items. Now, this is the new freedom that Power Automation is going to bring. In this case, when I create a customer, just as a very simple example, I don't want to go yet to anything technical. Somebody can create it, and I have my different companies. I'm going to decide to which company I would like to apply our workflow. And then you could establish conditions. For instance, I'm going to prepare a workflow when a specific credit limit is, let me explain you my condition, above $5,000, okay? So if I think of this type of initial condition, so I can explain in the webinar what we will be doing, I could also review my inventory table, where I would say if I have minus or under zero inventory as an example, please let's make a workflow, let's notify everybody in the company or something like that, right? You can now think of the real power of this. And for me, for this simple example, I would establish this first condition, and there are plenty of conditions that you could add. We have second, third, and fourth conditions. I'm just going to leave it like this for the foundation of my very simple workflow. Okay, now, whenever, this is just for the simple explanation, I'm going to start an approval. So I have the following step. I'm gonna get a record that is gonna come from my company, very easy. And now we are going to review the customer table, okay? Now, that's what is behind this, okay? Usually this was done by a programmer where we would be actually naming tables and functions. Now everything is automated for the new user just to input what he wants. Excuse me. So we are bringing the customer table and review the specific fields here. Don't worry about it, but we are just checking the customers, your customers in your company. Then once that is happening, we are going to review the function to start an approval. What happened here is that I'm going to send an email. So request approval for Microsoft, a Business Central customer. And here I would input all the emails in this case. Remember that we are integrated with Outlook, but if you want, we could even add a new type of email for that you can have in your company. Okay, so what I'm gonna do just to begin the explanation is just sending information to somebody who's going to review. Very basic. Then the important here is gonna come after this. We have now condition. What happened when somebody creates a new customer, and then if yes or if no options I can see here in these two squares. Okay, let's review the important here thing, because this is what flows is. Here's where the magic comes when we talk about flows. Okay, if the action is approved, in this case, yes, by the people who's going to receive this, well, I have as well, I'm going to execute an action. I'm going to request and approve in my company for this company only. And then what am I going to be doing is, if yes, if this is accepted, first of all, send an email, okay? The customer is approved. And then we just going to be inputting any information in this body about the text you would like to see, okay? We could add, and you have here the fields. Maybe you would like to add comments. Maybe you would like to add a response. Input the approver name, the etc. Okay, input a title, or maybe I would like to link to Open Business Central in this email. So the magic of the flow is that in all these options that are very, very easy to understand, you could add any of these, and this is generating an email with links, with text, with name of who's approving, with responses, all right? So this is what we call a dynamic content, all right? And here, what I'm including is the number of the customer, and that's why we have the circle of Business Central. It's extracting information from Business Central, okay? And I just want to give you the idea. I don't want to make this overcomplicated, but what I'm doing is request for this email, look who's requesting it, and input the email of these people. And I'm just selecting my options that I have here. So the idea is just to learn what this does, and that's what we do in our trainings. So you can do whatever you need, and it's very, very useful. But we don't only have integration with Outlook, as you can see. And then we are going to generate another one. And this is another action. This is what we call, this is not very, these do not have a title, but this is for Teams. I'm going to explain you how do we do this. And in Teams, we have a channel or a wall, like in Facebook. We call channels in Team. Post into the retail wall a post where you're going to include the approver name, tell that a customer was approved, and input the name of the actual customer. Okay, let me explain you this. We are integrating, and just to tell you the power of this, why am I getting quite detailed in here? We can input, for instance, you want to create an Excel file. Maybe you would like to show and send in the email an Excel file with the customer information. You would like to post into Microsoft Teams to notify all your team. You would like to send an email, well, the MSN weather, I don't know. I cannot think literally of an example where I would be using that. Okay, but this could be really helpful, because from now on, we are going to be able to link many applications. We are going to train you how, if you want to use this, how this is actually done, but this is very easy. I have trained people on this in 2 days. So you just get the idea. I'm sending an email. I'm going to post in Teams. And let me explain you what is going to happen if the condition is not accepted. Okay, just in this brief example. If my customer is rejected, let's do the following. I'm going to have another condition. Now let's move, and here I have the if no option. I'm going to send an email as well, and you can select from the different fields that we could add here all the information. Okay, I'm going to send an email to the requester. I'm going to send the title customer rejected, so you can see it's very easy. And in the body, I'm going to look for the available fields that I have here. And once again, I have selected from this menu, the name, the approver name, the approver name has rejected the customer, and the name of the customer, the number of the customer here. And maybe you could add, and here I have added a comments field. So everything without having a programmer is going to create all this beautiful information. This could be even much better. I'm just making an example. Maybe you could add attachments, add more beautiful text that could add, sorry, but your customer, due to any specific reason, was not accepted. And the magic is here. What happened if somebody also, as a second condition, is rejecting my new customer? Well, you could add now into different fields from the customer table. Look at this. You can select your tables that you have in the system. This application can review all of them, and you can change on the fly any field. Let me explain you. For instance, we have the possibility in our system to block a customer. Okay, so if by any reason the people rejects the new customer created, I'm going to block this customer. And we have an option that is called all in Business Central. If we open the customer, we are about to see this option called all. That means that I cannot sell and I cannot prepare payments or anything related or sales order. So I'm going to block this customer for all the activities in Business Central. Well, with this, you can now think of if you need at some point to do something with any field. So it's not only about connecting applications like Outlook or Teams, which we are going to see, but if you want to change a field after any action, well, this could be done, okay? In this example, let me just, before going into this, this is not very friendly if I just see it. I need to see how it actually works to better now understanding the functions. But remember, if you want to have this sort of functionality, with this idea, we just only need to train you on how to actually establish your conditions, how you would like to prepare your email bodies, how to connect and send into other apps, other information. And let me explain you another one before we go to the examples how, and look live how they actually work. Okay, I'm going to check other flows and okay, save Office 365 email attachments to OneDrive. This is as well out of the box. We just click on create. We just look for the function we would like to use, and I have created this before. Okay, and here I'm going to just open the actual flow that I have here, and I'm going to explain you briefly what it does. But basically, sometimes, I don't know, maybe for a purchaser or something like that, they would like to attach their documents. They would like to use their, okay, their information in conjunction with their, whenever they receive a purchase order or an email, they would like to save the attachments into another app. So you don't have to do it anymore manually. Okay, so everything, once again, is out of the box. Once I receive a new email in you select your folder, in this case could be inbox. What I'm gonna be doing is, in this case, immediately is going to tell you, we are going to need to create a file. We are going to review your attachments. We are going to create a file. And basically, the idea is this is going to be saving all the information into automatically my my drive in the folder that I just select, from the folder that I just selected. And is going to create an email telling me after 30 seconds, well, just some functions that I have. But the idea is when you select that, when you select from the templates, this function is automated. We just select the folder from where we are actually reviewing your attachments. So once again, just to finalize the first introduction, what I'm going to be doing is just review the information that is available. We have dozens and dozens of different out-of-the-box possibilities. Let me just show you the entire menu. We have all flows. We have approvals. You could add buttons. We could collect your data. If you would like to check if a user creates some records, let's make a database or an Excel file. Let's make a Visio processes. Let's think of somebody who's making a process and you creating the actual customer. We say, okay, let's have a file automatically created telling me a manual that is going to create a workflow, what this user did. He opened Business Central, he created a customer, he inputted the name, he inputted any information, and Visio is going to create an automated workflow where you can see what that user did, maybe for manuals. Emails, we can send emails. Event and calendars, we can send meetings, we can send notifications after an action is done. Well, I cannot cover all of this in one single session, but I'm just telling you, this is very powerful. And the idea is to connect Business Central to other applications that previously were never related one to another at all, okay? For instance, let me send push notifications, just review more, okay? Send approval and follow up via email, post messages to team, okay. You can create tasks for a business, for your Outlook as well, send emails, okay. Create new task. When an item is created, Power BI, oof, there are many. I don't have time for all of that. Okay, what we are going to do now is at least make a couple of examples that will be useful for you to understand just what flows is as an introduction, like I said. Okay, today I'm going to go back to Business Central and I have established a customer a workflow where I'm going to now then use, and I'm going to now create a customer in my Business Central process to see what it actually does. So I'm going to be opening a Business Central. And I'm going to now open the customer cards in order to create remember that we have the actual credit limit above 5,000. So what I'm going to be doing is exactly doing so and show how it then works. Then I'm going to create the customer. The customer is here. And here, business to business customer, I'm going to click on OK. We have templates for your customers as well, so you don't have to input all the fields like I will be doing now. This is a new customer card. Whenever I create a new customer, I need to input a basic information like the description, like the address, and all this information we have here, at least this information. and Business Central is going to help me to fill some mandatory fields. That's what we call the templates, okay? Also in Navision, we have this option. If you wanted to use, then you could add where you could immediately use some specific fields that are mandatory, and I have just completed one that is not mandatory, but nevertheless, because in the United States, we work with taxes according to different areas. So that's why I'm able to select here and this was not filled out. Okay, get the idea of the template. Now coming back, I have the credit limit and will be in this case 5,000 or maybe below 1,000, maybe 1,000 as a credit limit for this new customer that I'm creating that is called Technology Ltd Limited. Very basic. Now, what I'm going to do is just send an approval request. Let's see what happened. And it's telling me, hey, no workflow for this type record type is enabled. What happened here is that my credit limit is not even above the 5,000 required. So you can work with this, you can continue, and this is not going to do anything. But because of the company policies that we might have, I could add above 5,000, 5,001 even. Well, that will activate a workflow because the condition was 5,000. If I cannot work actually with this customer until it is actually approved, okay? And if it's rejected, guess what? This customer is going to be filled automatically in this field and is going to be blocked with the function that I previously mentioned. You could, for instance, block for shipments, for invoices, or for all, okay? Many of my customers, one of them had a great idea and told me, hey, whenever I go some specific overdue amount, please let's create a workflow to block to send more shipments, okay? And yes, if the total sales and then the balance due fields then later are above certain level, well, we can do actions. That's the magic of what we are seeing here, not going into technical, but the functions. Okay, nevertheless, since I'm just starting from scratch, not giving more ideas, I'm going to only use this workflow. So the credit limit is here, and what I'm going to be doing now is just actually send once again my approval. So the send approval request function, I'm going to run it again, is here, and well, what happened here, no more messages. This is something that I would like to fix now with Microsoft, because I would like to show a message telling me, hey, the workflow was triggered because of this, because the credit limit was accomplished, because of my condition, of course. You could add any condition you would like to see. But anyway, here we have customer approval workflow information where my approval customer is requested and is completed yet, okay? Yet no response that is received from the subscriber. That's why this is yet inactive, okay? But this is basically what happened, okay? I just sent it, I just created a customer and nothing else for now. Well, the only thing that I need to wait now is just to check the emails, okay? I forgot to mention that in the company, I'm working with Megan, who is a woman that is creating the customers, okay? But she's the user who is requesting it. And above her, I have somebody who is an administrator who is actually in the account where I'm actually having here in my Outlook. This is Office Outlook 365 in the cloud as well. And here I'm opening the administrator account in Outlook. What happened here is that by having the two different sessions opened, let me see what is going on with Azure. I have a simple delay because I have two different accounts open currently, but I would need to maybe close one of them to properly open my information. Yes, my message is not open. Okay, but what you will be receiving, The problem that I'm having is that in Azure, I have actually two accounts open for Megan and the administrator at the same time. Okay, this is not like working locally where you could open many users in your Windows environment. But now you will be receiving an email, one notification from Microsoft Flow. Okay, and as you can see, the very, or for me, the glorious, for me, the consultant, the best part of this is that it works with all the technology that you see here. All right, so you can download into your mobile flows. I don't know if you have heard that word or this app in the past, but Flow is the actual application we are using. So Flow is going to review what we did, it's going to review Business Central, and it's going to review my mobile technology, if it's Android, if it's whatever. Maybe I'm using my iPhone, and now what I will be receiving is this email, okay? And here you would actually you will be receiving a request approval for Dynamics 365 Business Central. Okay, what happened here is that, let me see. Okay, you're going to be receiving from Flows something that where you will be receiving the approve or reject buttons about the specific customers that you are creating. So the administrator is actually just receiving this simple information, and voila, this is it. You're going to receive an email. You can open it in your Android or in your mobile or in your computer. So the idea for me, let me just close this session to be able to properly see the actual function, but I need to close for a second the session that I have with this user, and I'm going to open only the administrator session. Okay, admin. And this is because in Azure, it's actually verifying security. So this is actually telling us that in the cloud technology, we are very tight actually to your device that you use. And well, let me open once again Outlook. Now, this is my session for the administrator. Very well. Very well, very well, very well. Let me see. Okay. One second, this is confusing some accounts. This is going to take just 1 minute just to verify. And complete the flow. Very well. The administrator and so Outlook. As the administrator. That was the error. Okay. No. Okay, once I'm the administrator again, sorry for the delay. Azure was having some connectivity reviews for the security. Okay, now the administrator is going to receive an email, and this is now being retrieved by Azure. So let's just wait a couple of seconds. And here, this is what you're going to be receiving. I'm receiving an email for the admin and telling me that the technology LTD needs to be approved. Very easy. Here, you could approve and say and specify a comment. All this body was created by me before. Yes, you can use this customer. Very well. Or if you want, you could reject and add as well a reason. But remember, if you reject, if you click on submit, this is going to actually block your customer, all right? So what I'm going to do is just select the first function and click on submit. And this is what it is, okay? Here you could include links to Open Business Central, attachments. Here you could include anything. We have plenty of options, but you as user now decide what you want here. This is the most simple example I could think of for the webinar. And here, of course, the date where we actually just approve this, okay? So as well, get the Flow app to receive push notifications and grant approvals from anywhere. So that's the magic, okay? Very well, so once that is done, what I'm gonna be doing is just opening, okay. By the way, now the customer is ready to be using Business Central. The user will be receiving an automated Outlook email, so she can be notified about my action. And here in Microsoft Teams as well, just as an example, I have created a very particular for the demo, beautiful a chat and users and just to give you the idea. Okay, what we have in Teams, here is this application. I have plenty of different options like chats, Teams, calendars, files. Okay, here we can, in Teams, we can make meetings like Skype. You remember that one? Well, Skype was then, is not in use anymore as much as used to be. Now, Teams is now the application, excuse me, that we actually use because it offers as well the same possibilities to call somebody, to make meetings and to make chats, etc. But now it has these functions to offer different, what we call is your teams. And in my teams, I have different type of groups of people that can see information in my company. I have the digital initiative, sales and marketing, retail, and so on. Okay, different teams that you can create or channels. In this case, I'm in the retail channel in the general wall. In the general wall, I'm having many people that is posting here, all related to maybe the stores, okay, in this example. And here I have posts, files, wiki, retail accounts. Well, just to mention for now, my team is making some posts about what they need. So everybody in my team can see it. And now here as well, my Business Central and Flow application created for the channel or for this wall, they call general. Let's make a post that is called the administrator has approved a customer technology LTD. So we, in this new era of technology and information, we are not very much into writing email notifications. Everything is automated, specifically if you use Outlook. You can use, believe me, you can automate anything you want, okay? This was just a very, very simple example with a condition. But the idea is Flow is going to notify, is going to send emails, can change fields, can review any table, any record that you want, and it's going to notify any person inside or outside your organization. Also Flows is connected to, in the cloud technology, to iOS, and it can be used in Android, of course, okay? So here I have this, okay, so thank you very much. I can then directly and make a notification, thank you, administrator, for your fast approval. Please prepare a sales order for the new customer. Very easy. You can continue working on this like nothing happened. And with this, another type of flow that I can have, whenever I have already approval of this, I would like to then show you another flow that is very, very common. In this case, the idea is that I will be then just changing the normal functions that I will be using. And here I'm receiving emails, okay? I'm receiving emails all the time. What would you like to do with this? You could attach this, for instance, to a purchase order. Let me explain. I have a OneDrive test. I received from Mr. Noé Wellman, that is working in Mexico, And here into this company, he sent a weekly deliverable where he is going to send maybe inventory or something, right? So he just sent an email to the Mr. Administrator in the company, maybe the purchasing manager, something like that, okay? So many integrations I have here, not all of them related to Outlook, but I have integration with Business Central. You could review, for instance, for this customer, what is the information, okay, that the credit limits and anything, okay? Now, the idea for now is that I have received here an attachment from this guy, only from this guy or from a company or from a team. What happened here is that I would like to save all the files sent from somebody, right? But in order to avoid more confusion where you will need to open your computer and start saving in different folders, we can do the following now. With flows, just as an example of the different levels of integrations. I'm going to open now OneDrive from my menu where I have all these apps. All these apps can be integrated by Flow, right? And I can give you more ideas. But here I have all this is my OneDrive. Now I'm in SharePoint, okay? This don't have to be necessarily SharePoint. This could be your own server, by the way. In the cloud, I mean, doesn't have to go to be in the cloud. Now, the idea is that I have a folder that is called my files that is shared in the company, or this could be only for this user. And I have a lot of libraries here, right? So that's the idea. You have a lot of different operations. Well, my idea is that I will need to save all the proofs for specific processes in my email attachment folders. So flows can save and can review, not in local computers, but in OneDrive. You could create your folders like I'm doing here. I have my notebooks. I have, well, this is Power BI, not to be reviewed now, but I have a folder that I call create email attachments. In the email attachments, I have then different files that were automatically saved by, guess what? The Outlook email that I received, this file that is called weekly deliverable sent from Mr. Wellman. Then I have here in my email attachments, I have all this information saved. So the attachment was automatically saved because in my flow, I reviewed that I want to save all the files from Mr. Noé. I would like to review all the, I don't know, including specific text, maybe a quotation, maybe proofs, maybe whatever you need, okay? So those are different type of levels of workflows that we might use. Think of, okay, any regular workflow that you might approve. Think of that when we talk about flows. The purchase order, the sales invoice, if a new item is created, blah, blah, blah. Second level, think of any table that even, I don't know, retail or for some of you might use another third-party app that is registering info in a new table in Business Central or NAV. You want to review a record? You want to review if something, new record or a modification, if somebody is editing, if somebody is deleting, you want to give permissions if somebody deletes something. Okay, let's review first. Create a flow for any table, any field. That's the second level. Okay, and at last but not least, what it does, what Flows does is going to help you to connect to different applications like we review now for Teams, for Outlook, for OneDrive, for, let me just show you some other. And here, let me just show all apps. You could attach, create Excels, Word, PowerPoints, it depends. You could review, and of course we need to there's plenty more information about these new functions. This is not just all what we can do, but if you use Get Reports, Power BI, Power Automate, we have plenty of different integrations that we have now available. Okay, so if you hopefully this was clear for the first time we see flows. This is at least explaining some of the basics. Think of low inventory, think of users that are deleting information, think of If you are under customizations that you don't know if they could fail, well, let's review if something. I have used it in a customization where somebody created an integration with another app importing a financial information, right? But what we at least wanted to review with flows, once the journal was imported, we just wanted to review that the actual difference among the new table and the actual table in Business Central for a specific GL account was not the same. Tell us immediately. This means that something was wrong while importing information. So voila, you're going to notify in an email, you're going to notify in Teams, you're going to notify in with the body, with comments, with all the buttons that we saw, okay? So hopefully that was useful as an introduction for the information we have seen today. This is completely new. If I know that you might have other questions, please be free to ask me now, or if you want to send me more information or requests for demos for all these functions, I can show you more. If you have an idea about your functions that you would like to apply, yes, we can just review it for you, but many options we have that are available now with flows, okay? So if I don't have further questions, thank you very much for your time. See you next week. And this is the end of our session. So have a nice day and see you next week.